Konnichiwa, bitches! How's everybody doing today? It is time for the review, furry wrestling review for WWE Money in the Bank. Happened Sunday night. And so let's get right into it. So at the beginning of the show, beginning of the show, it started with a pre-show match between the Hype Brothers, because, let's see, what's his face? Zack Ryder is back from his knee injury. And they were initially pushing his partner there. Oh, God, I can't even remember his name right now. Hype Brothers. All right, so anyways, Hype Brothers ended up fighting against the Colons. The Colognes. And so it was an okay match. It wasn't that big or long, so it was just pretty much filler before the show started. It was all right, and then, of course, the Hype Brothers hit their Hype Rider for the win, and so that brings us into the beginning of the show. And JBL still has a job. I don't know why. He still has a job. He sucks, and he's a bully, and we don't like bullies. So the show opens up with the women's Money in the Bank. Now, this was a pretty good match, except for one thing, the ending. This was a show of horrible endings. The Money in the Bank match for the women, first time ever. And it had Charlotte. She came out first, and the crowd was super pumped. Becky came out, and then Tamina, Snuka, and then Carmella with James Ellsworth, and then Natalya. And Natalya had a new outfit. Actually looked kind of cool. They did a nice promo package before the match, and WWE actually let them do the match. They let them actually take it as if it was a good ladder match. They weren't going to make them hold back, because they tend to do that a lot these days with the women wrestlers. But these women want to show that they can actually, stand a toe-to-toe with the men. Until they do stupid crap like they did with the ending. It was ridiculous. So they're starting to get some "this is awesome" chants, and then Charlotte did a twisting double elbow from the top rope to two people on Tamina and Natalya. That's what I'm calling it, because she just did, it was off the top rope, and she hit them both. She was in between both of them, so she hit them with her elbow, so we'll call it that. So that's how it goes. Alright, so, Becky powerbombed Carmella towards the end of the match, and then Becky starts climbing the ladder. Ellsworth comes in and throws Becky from the ladder, tips the ladder up so Becky falls off and whips flying herself on the top rope. And instead of Carmella climbing up here comes the stupid ending part. James Ellsworth climbs the ladder, disconnects the briefcase, and drops it down to Carmella. The rest are like, what's going on? What do we do? Because it's supposed to be the first woman to grab the case. So Ellsworth runs out of the ring and grabs the mic and says, "You're a new winner, Money in the Bank, Carmella," and they accept it and start playing music. So hopefully Tuesday night on SmackDown, the returning Daniel Bryan general manager will fix that, because that was horrible. That was the worst way to end the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It should have been something, you can only do a first ever of anything. And it should have been something where, Ellsworth got smashed or dropped off a ladder somewhere, and then Carmella actually made the ladder up herself. They just still wanted her to win, and you still get the same result. But it wasn't a woman winning the ladder in the match, the Money in the Bank match. It was a man pulling down the briefcase. So that, I think, really pissed people off. Pissed me off, I know that. That was horrible. That was a stupid ending. And I think WWE's purposely doing this kind of stuff to troll us again, like usual. So after that match, they had an interview with Lana, blah, 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 blah. She is now trying to wrestle. She has a title shot against Naomi later on in the night. And then they show, the next up is the Tag Team Championship match. New Day versus the Usos. New Day comes out, cuts a good little bit of promo, and people love it. People are all into them. They're all looking good. Kobe's back from his knee injury. Solid Monster talked about this, too. But this was a night of working the knees. Everybody seemed to work the knees in all the matches. It was like, what were these guys writing out back? Were they even looking at what they were writing? They didn't want every match to be the same. The bad guy works the good guy's knee over and over and over. No! Change it up a little bit. Work an arm. Work a back. Work something else. You know? So anyways, back to it. We had the tag team match with the New Day versus the Usos. This was a really awesome match, and it had a lot of great spots in it. Big E did a dive. He always has to do his dive, of course. But he did a dive spear into Jey Uso, or Jimmy Uso, which one I can't tell apart. Through the ropes to the outside and landed on his face. And that was pretty scary looking. Kofi took a big bump too, and I can't remember where it was. I heard somebody talk about it though. Let's see. So it goes back and forth, really good. And New Day keeps on getting them really close pins, and the Usos are doing their dirty heel stuff, you know, trying to achieve as much as possible. But you're dealing with the New Day, who does that also. They do everything they can to try to win. And so what happens at the end of the match, which was pure crap that everybody hated too, was that the Usos, after New Day pulls their finisher on them, the night something, I can't remember the name of it. I'm not really up on all those super technical terms of everybody's finishing moves. But after they pull their finishing move, the Uso pulls out the other move, so they grab the title belts and walk away and get the count out. So they still stay the tag team champions, which was bullshit. Excuse my language, but that's what it was. It was bullshit. And people were pissed. As Grimm would say, people are pissed! People were really pissed. So after that, we get a view of, see if I'm looking at my notes here. We get a view of Cowboy Bob Orton and Sergeant Slaughter out back, two of the legends. And then we get to the women's title match versus Naomi versus Lana. Now Lana, this is her first time wrestling on TV. And I thought it was going to be a horror show, and actually it wasn't that bad. She still does not look natural in the ring. She's better off being a valet. You know, I'm not saying that she shouldn't be a wrestler. She's better off being a valet. Like, you know, she had a few good moves. She suplexed Naomi a few times onto the ring ropes. Looked pretty brutal. Once again, working the knee because Naomi is back from a knee injury and she got her title back. So they went for multiple submissions in the match, and then Carmella comes out at the end of the with the Money in the Bank briefcase and fakes like she's gonna pass it in and doesn't pass it in, which confuses everybody, confuses the people in the ring, and then Lana goes for her finisher, which is like a chicken wing spine buster, sit down spine buster type deal, and Naomi does it. She does it once and then doesn't get the pin. Naomi goes for it again. Naomi just flips over and puts her into a submission hold, makes her tap out, and Naomi stays the champion. So that was that. And so it was useless for Carmella to even come out with the Money in the Bank, you know, briefcase if she wasn't going to cash it in. Stupid. I keep pulling down here because I can't see and breathe. Excuse me. Alright, so we get a Fashion Vice segment. Fashion Files with Breezango, Fandango, and Calabrese. And this was like one of my highlights for the night. As if you've been watching SmackDown lately, they've been doing the Fashion Files similar to like, either they're doing it like Law and Order, or they're doing it like an old noir movie like the 20s, gumshoe detective type black and white stuff. But this time he did a Miami Vice type sketch, and they were dressed to the hilt. He had the big giant, cell phone. It had Paulie Dangerously written on it. They got those little things in this background of all their skits that bring you back to some time of memory somewhere. But they were dressed like the guys from Miami Vice with the jacket, the pink shirt and stuff. It was pretty funny. They found out who destroyed their locker rooms and beat up Tyler Breeze, and so that was a pretty decent segment. They're just hairball. I have a hairball. Hairball. Okay, so let's get back to it. All right, so the Fashion Police get a videotape, and they play the videotape, and it's got two masked men in there saying, If you want to know who did it, come meet us in the ring. And we know that's going to be a filler match because there isn't no titles on the line or anything. And so we get to that. So the next thing we get right after that, big introduction, music starts playing, sounds like an 80s song. And we see hearts, a big heart on the floor in front of the Titantron. Hearts start falling from the Titantron, and out come Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett. And he's not Mike Bennett, though. He's Mike Kanellis. He took her name for WWE. They're doing a really bad, cheesy love angle that is like similar to Maurice and The Miz, just a lot more obnoxious. And Maria is perfect at that role, being an obnoxious bitch. Everybody hated her. She did such a great job at that role over in Impact, TNA and stuff. It's great to see her over here back again, though. She was with WWE for a long time. So let me get to my next page here. Sorry, I'm not like Walter Cronkite or some crap like that, so you deal with it. Like it. Yeah, so they do a legend call in the front row. Let's see who's there. They got Greg Gagne, Larry Hennig, Baron von Radshinshine, or something like that, Sergeant Slaughter, Cowboy Bob Orton, and Ric Flair. Harley Race was supposed to be there, but I guess he had an injury and couldn't make it. So next match is the World Championship versus Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. A lot of heat for Jinder. A lot of people were, really not liking him. You suck chance. Big pop for Randy because they actually were in Randy's hometown, so you're gonna get that anyways. USA chance all around because you're still playing up that anybody who's not from America has to be a bad guy. Yeah, that's Vince McMahon. He likes that role. That's what he wants. So that's what he gets. And so once again, we get Jinder Mahal working on Randy's knee. It was, like I said, a night of knee. It's knee. The nights who say knee. Alright, so, excuse me. Hairball. And so, we get the usual match back and forth between Randy and Jinder with interference by the Bollywood boys, or the Singh brothers, if you keep calling them that. And Randy is just about to win the match, and the Singh brother puts Jinder Mahal's foot on the rope and tries to get Jinder disqualified. The referee's about to disqualify him. Randy's like, please don't disqualify him, just kick him out. And so the ref kicks them out, and they go to leave, and when they're leaving, they turn around and decide that they're going to go mess with Randy's dad, Cowboy Bob Orton. They grab a hold of him, and then Randy loses his shit and decides to totally destroy the Singh brothers, which he does, just like he did on the last pay-per-view. Destroys the Singh brothers, gets in the ring, same thing happens again. Jinder gets the Cobra Clutch slam on him and wins and keeps the belt. So that was kind of retarded. But that also goes along with anybody going for a title shot or a champion fighting in their hometown loses it because Vince has got a big hard-on for that. Retarded. Okay, so they get a big Great Balls of Fire promo, which, yes, it's still a pay-per-view name. And in the year 2017, Vince McMahon decides to come up with a pay-per-view name called Great Balls of Fire from a song from 50 years ago. Talk about ridiculous. And then the sign that they built for up, which I'll show you a little image, looks like a penis instead of balls. And you'll see it here, and I'll try to see if I can find the clips that people have been posting on Twitter and everything of it. But it was totally retarded, stupid. And so they got the song, too, to go with it, Great Balls of, whatever, goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire, whatever, the 50s Jerry Lee Lewis song. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It must be on this list of Vince that has, like the list of Jericho, the list of Vince of bad pay-per-view names. And he just goes down the list and blindly picks one. Okay, this one. Great Balls of Fire! Yeah! The winner! Not. Alright, so, Fashion Police come out to see who the mystery men are. Now, this match, I was expecting a lot more from. We know there's going to be a filler match before the main event. And, it didn't end up being hardly anything. It was like a 5-minute match, and who comes out? The Ascension. I was like, are you kidding me? Do we actually want to see the Ascension on a pay-per-view? No! And then they didn't let Fandango and Tyler Breeze, the Fashion Police, they don't let them do any of their fun skit stuff that they do during matches. So it's pretty much just a straight on match with a cheesy roll-up for a victory for the Fashion Police. I'm glad that they won, but it's retarded how they played it. You know, they should have done something. It's like, for a billion-dollar company to not be able to come up with some good storylines and writing that play into, you know, to the pay-per-views and the shows, blending it together, you know, somebody's got their head up their ass there somewhere, you know. And if SmackDown's creative is being run by Road Dogg, I'm surprised that Road Dogg isn't, like, you know, getting more involved in that. Some of the stuff I can tell is totally him, but some of the stuff I can tell is totally this bullshit conglomerate of writers that have been hired by WWE who have not one drip of clue about professional wrestling. Nothing. They don't know what storylines are. It's like people in an office who talk all week about doing something and then make a decision at 4:30 on Friday, right before quitting time. You know, kind of like a lot of our state representatives do and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. Alright, so let's get to the Men in the Bank ladder match for the men. We had, let's see, it was AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Baron Corbin. They all make their entrances out. When Shinsuke's coming out, Baron Corbin comes up from behind him, takes him out. So he's not even in the match for the first 3/4 of it. So, but it was a great match. Yeah, after Corbin jumps him from behind, takes out Nakamura. There's a lot of abuse, a lot of awesome spots in this match. Let me see some of the ones that I'll point out that I really like. Sami Zayn did a sunset flip powerbomb from the top of the ladder on Dolph Ziggler. Brutal. It was awesome. Let's see. Sami hits Owens with a double arm suplex on the ring apron. Sami climbs and hits AJ. AJ hits him with a phenomenal forearm while he's on the ladder. Corbin drags out AJ, throws him over the announce table. Corbin sets up the ladder on the stairs to the barrier. And then choke slams AJ, puts him on that ladder, but it doesn't break the ladder. Let's see, another one. Helluva kick to Corbin by Sami. Ziggler kicks off Sami off the ladder. Sami gets pulled down by Owens, gets kicked in the groin. AJ pulls Owens down from the ladder. AJ gives an attitude adjustment to Kevin Owens on that ladder that he got suplexed or chokeslammed on earlier outside. That was brutal from the ring to the outside. That was awesome. Let's see some more ones there. AJ Styles was up on the ladder and he got a hold of the briefcase, and I think it was Ziggler moved the ladder out and AJ was hanging from the cable with the briefcase, and that's like, I don't know, it looks like it was 15 feet up in the air, and he's trying to get the case off and he can't, and his hands just can't hold on anymore, and he takes a huge drop fall down to the canvas from up there, and that looked really painful. But you know, AJ is the best wrestler they got in the company. He is just incredible. Not the wrestler, just incredible. He is just incredible. So, alright, so as it comes down towards the end, Owens is holding the ladder, and let's see, and Nakamura music hits, and he comes back out, and he just starts wiping everybody out, especially Baron Corbin. And he hits a Shinkasa here, a Shinkasa there, Shinkasa everywhere Shinkasa Kasha. And it was awesome. And then we get down to AJ on one side of the ladder and Nakamura on the other side of the ladder. Both staring at each other. Crowd going nuts. Loving it. They want to see. This is the match that we want to see. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. What do? They take the ladder and they put the ladder aside. And they start going toe to toe. Crowd was so pumped for this. I was pumped. I was marking out like a mother. I was loving it. And then Shinsuke gets the upper hand. Goes for the Shinkasa. While he's going for the Shinkasa, AJ hits him with a phenomenal forearm in midair, which is pretty awesome. They're both up on the ladder and going punch for punch on the ladder. And, of course, who comes out from underneath? Baron Corbin tips the ladder over. They both get clotheslined on the top rope of the ring. Baron Corbin climbs the ladder and gets the briefcase. Your new Money in the Bank winner is Baron Corbin. Snoring, boring Corbin. Like, of course, WWE had to do it. It's just like their Roman Reigns thing. They have a hard-on for these guys that nobody wants to see get to the top, and everybody that wants to see get to the top get adjudicated to doing some kind of stupid comedy skit somewhere. Ridiculous. Anyways, overall, besides the endings, the matches were pretty good. I'd probably give it about 3.5 tacos out of 5. Of course, the men in the bank, Money in the Bank ladder match for the men was about a 4, I would say. And the women's match could have been a 4, but that stupid ending with James Ellsworth was ridiculous. Like I said before, I hope that on Tuesday Night SmackDown, when Daniel Bryan comes back, that he does something about that. And it's too bad that they had to do that crap on the pay-per-view. But we'll see what happens. So, other than that, I am Catpool. This was Furry Wrestling Review for WWE Money in the Bank. And I will see you after the next pay-per-view in a few weeks. Bye!